Okay, so in the previous session, we have seen introduction to data dictionary, and we have also created a package, right? We have seen how to create a package. So what exactly is a package? Package is like a folder which is used to store our rise of objects, right? Every rise of object that we create in SAP will have to be stored inside a package. So that's package we have created in the previous class. And we have seen introduction to DDIC, data dictionary, and what is a database table, types of tables in both HANA and ECC system, right? And we have also seen example of one standard table, that was BSEG, which used to be a cluster table in the ECC system, but now it is changed as transparent table. So in HANA system, we will only have transparent tables, not pooled or cluster tables anymore, right? Then we have seen what is a unique and non-unique relationship. Okay, unique means primary, right? Primary or unique. So if we make any field or any column in the table as a key field, then it will act as a unique field. Means unique means the data has to be different for each and every row. Okay, we cannot repeat the data. We cannot repeat the value inside that field. Okay, so this was one example. So today let's go ahead and create one database table directly in the system. Okay. Okay. So first of all, the T code, right? The T code to create the database table is SE11. See, if you have missed the T code that I gave here in the command field, you can always look the T code bottom at here. Okay. I always keep the T code on here. So you can always see in which T code that I'm working on here, like bottom right corner here, SE11. This is the T code that I'm currently in, right? So then first of all, we are creating a table. So before and first what we'll have to understand is, how to start the custom object name, correct? We have to either use Y or Z, correct? Or only Y or Z. And since most of the projects uses Z, we will also use Z. Okay, that's how we have created our package also, right? We have created ZAB3 underscore ABAP, correct? That was our package name. So if you want to see the package again, /OSCAT /O means it will open a new session instead of replacing my existing session. Okay, this is what we have created in the previous class, this package. Okay, so now let's create a table and we'll store this table inside that package. Okay, done. So first I'll put some naming convention underscore emp underscore table. Okay, means employee table. Basically, I want to make it as employee table. Done. I'll hit create. Okay, so this is the initial screen or the first screen of the table creation. Okay, first of all, we have to fill the short description. Okay, and it is mandatory. How do you know whether it is mandatory or not? See this icon again. When we created the package also, we were having this icon, right? Mandatory field, I told you. Box with a check mark. See, box with a check mark. So we cannot leave these things as optional. See, in previous session, short description was a mandatory field, so we filled this. But application component was optional, so we left it, right? So similarly here also, we cannot leave short description. Okay, done. We know what is a short description. It just explains what exactly is this purpose of the table. Okay, so I have written it as employee details. Okay, simple. Done. Then delivery class. Okay, delivery class. So delivery class defines what type of data am I going to store inside my table. Okay, what type of data am I going to store inside my table? So simply how you can judge which one to use is, by default you might not know, so you have to ask this question to your functional team, right? You have to simply ask them what type of data are you going to store. See, if you click on this button, I told you this is called F4 help, right? Function key F4 help or search help, right? Search help. So just click this. Okay, you see we have 7 entries here. Okay, 7 entries here, but in real time you will only use two, A or C. Will not use anything else, either A or C, nothing else you will use. Session is recorded, right? Just a second. Okay, recorded. Yeah, either A or C. Okay, now when to use A, when to use C. Okay, if I have to use only these two, when to use A, when to use C. A means, see here, master data and transaction data. Master data and transaction data. So here, master data means the data which will not be changed very often in your system. Means what kind of products am I selling? What kind of materials, raw materials am I purchasing, right? Or who are my customers? If I'm having repetitive customers, repeating customers, who are these customers? Who are my vendors? I'll be buying from the same vendors most of the time, right? So these informations will not change very often. Okay, it remains the same most of the time, correct? So that is called as a master data. The data which is not changed very often, not changed very often. Then transaction data means the data which is changed every single day, honestly. Okay, transaction means any business transaction. Okay, so if you want to update this table whenever a business transaction happens, then that is transaction data. Done. Then if your data is within any of these two, then choose application table. Simple. Okay, then customizing means customizing maintenance by only customer. You see, maintenance only by customer, no SAP imports. What this means is, I'm creating the table, but this table will not be updated with any real-time transaction, but a user, an SAP user or customer has to log into SAP system to maintain the data manually. Okay, the data inside this table will not be updated with any business transaction, but instead a business client, a business user will manually add the data into my table. Okay, in this case, choose C. Simple. Remaining thing else not needed at all. Not needed at all. Okay, you will only use A and C. And always remember, very important this is, whenever any business transaction happens, always your standard tables are updated, not custom tables. Okay, whenever any business transaction happens, your standard tables are updated. Okay, means if I am creating a sales order, okay, in my system, then standard tables VBAK, VBAP are updated. If I am creating a delivery, then again standard tables are updated, like that. There are different standard tables. These are updated by default. You don't need to remember the table names. Again, I'm telling you, you don't need to remember the table names. Table names will be given to you by the functional team. Okay, done. Now, so in this case, what I want to do is, I don't want my table to update with any business transaction. I want to maintain the data manually. From my end, I want to maintain it. So I'll choose C. Customizing, I'll choose. Okay, done. Then table maintenance. Okay, so basically table maintenance means updating the data, changing the data, adding the data, deleting the data. Okay, data manipulation you can call it, or data update, right? Data maintenance means maintenance here. Display means just to see the data, right? Data display, data maintenance. Data display means seeing the data in the table. Data maintenance means changing the data in the table, or creating the data, or deleting the data, right? So if I choose with restrictions, then SAP will impose some restrictions on how I can maintain the data. Okay. Then allowed means without any restrictions, user can maintain the data in the table. Not allowed means they cannot see display maintenance not allowed. This display and maintenance not allowed means user can't see the data, they can't maintain the data. Okay, they can't even see the data, they can't even maintain the data. Only display allowed means they can only see the data, but no one can maintain the data in this table. Okay, every single time you will choose this display maintenance allowed, because the purpose of creating this table is I want this to be updated. I want this to be maintained with some data. If I choose not allowed or display only allowed or with restrictions, user cannot directly access the table to maintain the data in real time, correct? So that is the reason in real time you will always choose display maintenance allowed only. Although you are having so many options, 99% you will only choose this, right? Done. So next, once you have filled these two, you can move out to the next tab. That is fields. Fields. Done. So here we have to give our field names. Field names. Okay. So what was our field name? So what we'll do? We'll try to replicate this. Okay. We have created this table, right? We'll try to replicate this same table in there. Okay, in SAP. So first I'm having what employee number, employee first name, second name, gender, mail ID. So same fields I'll give there also. Okay. So here I'll go. I'll put EMB underscore NO employee number. I want this to be a key field. Correct? Employee number should be a key field. So I'll check this. What this check means is it says initial checkbox. Okay, initial checkbox. What initial means is when I am whenever I maintain any data in my table. Okay, if I am not giving any default value, sorry, whenever I'm not giving any actual value to this field, then a default value will be assigned to that particular field. Okay, whenever I am maintaining the data in the table, if I am not specifying the value for this particular field or for this particular column, then a default value will be assigned to my uh, field, to my entry that I'm maintaining. Okay, so always make sure if you are checking your key field checkbox, you check the initial checkbox also. Even if you don't check it, system will automatically check it for you. Okay, done. Then data element. Okay, data element. The purpose of a data element is to show you um column headings. Okay, the purpose of the data element is to show you the column headings. Now you might ask, why do I need column headings? I'm already seeing the name here, right? So hold that thought. In some time I'll show you the benefit of using the data element. Okay, so again it's optional, but still okay. What I'll do, I'll create different scenarios. With every single field I'll show you a new scenario. Okay, so you'll understand the benefit of each and every one in that manner. So I'll put emp underscore no. Okay, data element name I gave as zb3 underscore emp underscore no. Okay, I'll hit enter. Okay, I'll hit enter. If the data element is already created, then these fields will be filled. You see all the grayed out fields here, these are all grayed out fields. So if I hit enter, if this data element is already existing in the system, then these will be filled. Okay, let's see. Enter. Not filled. Okay, I got zeros basically, means not filled. Okay. See what does it say here? zb3 emp no is not active, is not active. So we have to create the data element. Okay, create the data element. Now how to create the data element? Simply double click this. Okay, give the data element name, double click this. See, I'm getting a pop-up saying the table, this is the table name, right? Table was changed. Do you want to save before exiting your table? I want to save, correct? So yes. Okay, this is the first time I'm saving the table, correct? Till now I did not save the table, so it is asking me in which package do you want to store it. Okay, See, how to store it in a package means simply give the package name here. ZAB3 underscore ABAP I'll give. Done. Like this, sorry, ZB3 underscore ABAP. Simply I'll give this, it will be stored inside this package. Or simply choose local object. Okay. Two types of objects we've discussed. Huh? Local object and transportable object. Transportable object should always be in a package because transportable object will need a TR, a transport request. But a local object will not need it. So simply how to create a transportable object, how to create a local object means in the package section, if you are giving an actual package, a custom package, then it is transportable object. If I click on local object here, then it is non-transportable object. Okay, simple. So now I'm choosing the package. Okay, I want to save this table inside the package. Save. See, what it is asking? It is asking for a transport request, right? Transport request. So what you can do, if you already have a transport request with you, then click on own request. If you click on this own request button, it will show you all the transport requests that are there in your ID. So these are all there with my ID basically, right? So these are all with my ID. Okay. If you want to choose any of these, simply choose those. No problem. Choose it. If you don't want to use any of these, okay, these own packages, then you can click on create here. Okay. You can click on create here, or in the first screen itself you can click create here. Okay, create here. I'll create my own request. So here I'll put okay, EMB table. Done. Save. Okay, see, it created a new transport request for us now. This is the new transport request. Hit OK. Okay, what does it say now? Data element does not exist. Create the data element with a question mark. Yes, I want to create it. Done. Again, here short description should be filled. It is mandatory here. See, mandatory. Okay, short description is mandatory. Okay, I gave employee number here. Then here, if you observe, there is something called as domain. Okay, domain. So I'll tell you in a minute. Directly, I'll show you what is a domain rather than giving you definition. So basically, definition is what type of data do you want to maintain? Do you want this field to be? Okay. So this field, what would be the type of this field inside your table? That's what your domain means. Okay, data type. See, data type length and all. Okay, that is your domain. But before we get into the domain, let me maintain field label for this. Okay, field label. You see there is a tab here, field label. So I'll put EMBNO. Okay, done. You don't need to specify the length. After giving the field label, simply hit enter. That's what I did. Okay. After giving your field label, just hit enter on your keyboard. This will come automatically. You don't need to explicitly give the length. Okay, done. Go back to data type, domain. Now I want to create the domain. Okay, I want to create the domain because this is not there. See, no active domain, not available. It says. So you can give the same name as your data element name, or you can give a new name. Your wish. Your wish. If you want to give the same name to your domain, you can give the same name, or if you want to give a separate different name, you can give it. Okay, however you want to give, you can give. No restriction in giving your names in the domain. So currently I gave the same name. Okay, done. Then now I'll click same story. Double click again. Double click. See now it says this is changed. This is data element name actually. So this is data element was changed. Do you want to save? Yes. Where do you want to save? I want to save it in package tr. Then it says the domain not existing. Do you want to create? Yes. So here I'll fill some short description to it. Done. Then in the data type, see we have different data types. We have many data types in SAP, but we will not use those many types. Okay, don't be frightened. I'll click on this button now. You'll get many data types. Don't be frightened. You will not use those many data types. Okay. See, I have 37 entries in this. Okay, we have 37 different data types in SAP. But don't worry, you don't need to remember all these things. We will only use few from this. Very few. Okay. First and most important data type in SAP is char, character. Okay. The most important data type is character. Character means we can store an alphanumeric number or a symbol or a space or anything. Basically, every single letter that is there on your keyboard, every single key that is there on your keyboard can be used with character. Okay, be it an alphabet, be it a number, be it a symbol or space, whatever. Okay, all these things can be stored in the character. That means if I click choose character here, okay, if I choose character for this particular field, in this field, I can add a number, I can add a alphabet, I can add a symbol, I can add a space. So while maintaining the data, this is how I can maintain the data. Basically, it's like this now. So okay, let me change Rahul. So here I can maintain it like this. Or if I want to add a space also in between, I can add like this. Okay. Any symbol basically, you can add any symbol that you want to like this. Okay, you want to add anything, you can add. This is char. This is character. You can store a number, you can store a space, you can store a symbol, you can store an alphabet. Basically anything. Anything that you might think of, you can store it with the character. That is character. The character is the most used data type in SAP. Most used. Okay, because you can save anything in it. Right? If you declare anything as a character, you basically can store anything in it. So that is the reason many people will choose character only in SAP. Okay, done. Then client means it will store the client number. Okay, what is our client number? 100 now. Because when we were logging in, we were seeing the client number, correct? This number 100. So that data type is used to save the client number. That's it. Okay, CLNT is used to store the client number. This cookie and currency CURR, we will come back to it later. These are called as currency fields. Currency fields. Whenever we want to declare any currency value, means if you want to declare something related to an amount, okay, like monetary value, like because it is employee data, let's consider, say, if you want to store a salary information of your employee, which is what, an amount, correct? Right, so that should be stored as a currency field. So this should be used in those cases. Okay, if you want to store any amount fields. Okay, done. Then all these things are unnecessary. You will never use this. Okay, you will never use any of these. Directly go to DATS. DATS means date. Date. Okay, DATS means date. If I want to save any date, right, in the system, like employee joining date, example, for example, so I can use this. And the default format of date in SAP is this: year, month, and date. Year, month, and date. This is the default format in SAP for date. Okay, done. Then integers. These are not required. Integers. Go to integers. So integer means, see, integer can hold only number. Okay, integer can only have a number. It cannot have an alphabet. Okay, see, int 1. Now what is the difference between different integers is, int 1 means it can store any value between 0 to 255. Okay, 0 to 255 means when I'm trying to maintain the data. Okay, let's say I want to maintain the data in this table, example, in this table, when I'm adding a new entry, if I choose int 1, I cannot add negative, I cannot add minus some value, not possible. The value should start with only 0 or above. It should be a positive value. Okay, the value can only be 0, it cannot be negative, again it cannot be negative value, it can be 0 or positive value up to 255. Okay, if I try to maintain 256 here, then that is also not correct. This is also not correct. You can't maintain 256. If I give one field, any field as into 1, I can only maintain a value up to 255. 0 to 255. It's there here already, right? But if I choose into 2, then I can maintain any value between minus 32k to 32k. Okay, so blindly uh, keep this in mind that if you want a smaller negative value, very small negative value, then simply choose into 2. Okay, smaller negative or positive value. I mean, so smaller negative or positive value, then choose into 2. If you feel like you only need the positive value, that will be very, very less than 255. Then choose this. If you are not sure whether it will be negative value or positive value or how long will that value be, choose into 4 or into 8. Anything. Okay, see, into 4 already is a very large number. Very large number. Correct? Very large number. Choose into 4 or into 8. Into 8 will be almost double this, double to this number. That is the reason SAP didn't write it here, because they can't even accommodate it. The description, they can't even accommodate this long description here. Okay, the number will go beyond this. That is the reason SAP didn't write the description for it. It will be very, very large. Okay, so depending upon what type of data you might store into 4 or into 8. Simple. Okay. Then language. Lang means in what language. If you want to add a language field, okay, in the table, if you want to add a language field, choose lang. Simple. Then quantity field. Then again, quantity field is used to define any quantity fields. Quan means quantity here. Okay. Quan and unit both. Quan and unit both means within the, like, how much quantity is a person ordering, like one quantity, 10 quantity, 200 quantity, like that. How many number of items are is the user ordering, is the customer ordering. That's what your quantity field is. Okay. Again, quantity field is separate. Currency and quantity fields are separate. Okay, we'll have a separate working session on currency and quantity fields once we understand the normal fields. Okay, currency and quantity fields are slightly different, very, 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 very slightly different. Okay, done. Then string is also similar to a character only. Okay, string is also similar to character, but the difference between string and character is, with the character I need to specify the length. Okay, see, if I choose character here, I have to choose the length, number of characters. Okay, number of characters. Let's say if I give 10, example, if I give 10, char 10, in this case I cannot maintain a value that is more than 10 characters. That is more than 10 characters, it is not possible. 10 characters means, basically, see, take this one only for example. I cannot maintain, see, I can only maintain 10 characters only. Okay, I can only maintain a 10 character length employee number. If I try to maintain more, it will give me error. This is not correct. Okay, this is error. I cannot maintain beyond 10. Beyond 10 not possible. That is character. We have to specify the length explicitly when we are creating the field itself. But with the string, you don't need to specify the character. I mean length. Okay, with string, you don't need to specify the character. It's optional. Okay, you don't need to specify. Automatically, system will take it on its own. Okay, system will take it on its own. That is string. Okay, everything else not needed. Not needed at all. Okay, temps you might use in some time to store the time. Okay, if you want to store the time, then you can use this TIMS. Simple. Remaining everything else you will never use in your real time. Okay, so for now I'll choose character. I'll give the length as 10. Okay, done. Let me just do a save. Yes, I want to save it in the package under the same tr. I'm saving. Okay, so before I move on, any doubt till now? Anyone? You can even put your queries in the chat. Done. So once after saving any object, any rise of object in SAP, you have to activate it. You have to activate it. Now, how to activate it? Simply click this button, activate button. You see here, icon, there is an icon called activate. So you have to activate this. See, currently the status of my domain is new, correct? Because I created it as a newly created domain. No? So it is currently new. So the minute I activate it, see the status will change. Hit enter. You can hit enter or you can click this button, checkbox button. See, now it is active. Till now it was new, no? Now it is active. Similarly, go back. Here also you see data element is in which state? New state. So hit activate. Again, you can either enter after clicking on activate, after getting this pop-up, you can hit enter on your keyboard or else click this button, continue button. Anything is fine. See, active, done. My table is now in new state. Let it be in new because with one field I don't want to activate my table. I'll add all my fields. Okay. So employee number, similar to employee number, I'll put other things also. EMP underscore F NAM. First name. Okay, employee first name. So for this also let me FNAM. Done. Enter. Not available in the system. Double click. Yes, I want to save. I want to create the data element. Yes. See, again it did not ask for TR now. Earlier it asked for the package and the TR, but now it did not. Why? Because I already saved it in the package and TR. So again, we don't need to specify the transport and package name every time. Only just a single time. You have to specify. That's it. Okay. First name or put EMP first name. Then what I'll do. Okay, for this let me maintain a field label. EMP name. Done. After maintaining, after giving the values, just simply hit enter. Then I'll come back to data element. I'll choose this same story again. Double click. Yes. Again, you don't need to manually click these things also. If you keep clicking on enter also, it will work. Okay. I'll keep clicking on enter, 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 enter. Okay. Just keep your hand on the keyboard, enter button. It would make things easy rather than using your mouse. It's easy. Okay. Data type. So again, I want to choose character because I can store alphabets only by using character or string, but I don't want to use string. I'll use character. Okay. I'll give the number of characters as, let's say 15. Okay, 15. Done. Then save in the package and tr. Then activate it. See, most of the people when practicing, this is the step that they forget. They'll save it, everything they'll do correctly, but they forget to activate it. They forget to activate it. So if you don't activate it, you will definitely get error. Okay, you will get errors when activating the table. So no, don't forget to activate your data elements. This is a very common mistake that most of the people will make. Okay, done. Then I'll put emp underscore lnam. So again, similar to my data element for first name, I'll put my last name. Lname not available. Double click. Yes, yes, yes. So emp last name. Okay. For this, what I'll do, I'll not give any domain. I will not give any domain. I will choose built-in type. I will choose built-in type. Okay. See, the purpose of the domain I told you is we can give data type by using the domain. Okay. That's what we did till now. in employee number and also in employee first name. By using domain, I gave data type. But using built-in type also I can do the same. Okay. Simply what I'll write, I'll put char 15 done. Char 15 done. I will not even maintain field label. For this, I'll not maintain the field label. Okay. Wantedly, I'm not maintaining it. I'll show you the difference. What happens if I maintain the field label? What happens if I don't maintain the field label? What happens when I create a data element with built-in type? What happens when I create a data element with a domain? Okay. All these differences I'll show you. Okay, then activate. Okay. It's an information message stating that maintain field label you can ignore. I'll ignore it. I'll not maintain it. Okay, see, the data element is active. Why? Because these are mandatory fields. Huh? No, na. These are not mandatory fields. That is the reason I'm able to activate it without a field label. Without field label also, I can activate it because these are not mandatory. But if I do this, see what happens. Make an entry. Mandatory field short description. So only mandatory fields are necessary to activate your object. Non-mandatory fields are not important. You can update those or you can leave those. Okay, so I'll put it back, activate, done. So similarly, let me put remaining two fields also. So emp underscore gender. For this, what I'll do, I'll not even create a data element. Okay, directly I'll put char 10, enter, done. Okay, see, first scenario, first two scenarios basically. Here I created data element, I created domain. In the domain, I gave the data type. Here also I created data element, I created domain, I maintained a field label. That is second scenario. Third scenario, I created data element, but I did not create a domain. I did not even maintain the field label for my employee last name. Then next scenario, gender. For gender, I did not even create a data element. Directly I'm using this type, built-in type. Okay, built-in type directly also I can give here directly. Okay, so similarly I'll put emp underscore mail, done. I'll put char 30 something, done. 30 characters. Okay, done. Now this is all the fields, correct? See, we were having these many fields in my table, so all the fields are replicated. Employee number, first name, last name, gender, mail. All these I have replicated in my system, in my SAP system. Done. Now next step of before activating the table. Okay, directly I cannot activate yet. You can save it, but we cannot activate yet. There is one more step still remaining. Okay, that step is technical settings. Technical settings. If you don't do technical settings, system will automatically take you to technical settings. See, I'll try to activate you can either click on technical settings now, or what I'll do, I'll directly try to activate my table. See what will happen. Okay, I'm clicking on activate now. What did it do? SAP automatically took me to technical settings. It just defined technical settings, right? So technical settings is mandatory step for every table. Okay, mandatory. So here you see again we'll have a few more things. First, data class. Data class means again related to data. Simple. So click on this F4 help or search help. See master data, transaction data, organization data. What kind of data do you want to save? Okay, what kind of data do you want to save? So I want to save customizing data. Correct? Customizing. Customizing means saved by user. Correct? Saved by user. So I'll put customizing. Master data, transaction data, I explained you already. Master data means data which is not changed very often, like the vendor information or my product information, my raw material information, this kind of information. Transaction data means data which will change with every business transaction. Then customizing means maintained by user. So I'll choose this. Then size category. Size category means how many records you might be able to save in this table. Okay, so if I give 0, then user can save at most 3800 entries. Okay, 3800 entries in the table. See, in SAP, dot means comma, comma means dot. Okay, you might say it is 3.8. It is not exactly 3.8. It's 3 comma 3 comma. So when it comes to uh, numbers, SAP uses this because it's a German company. No? So in Germany, this is how they'll use a separator. Okay. For them, comma is dot, dot is comma. So if you're seeing dot here, that means this is comma. So it's 3000, 3 comma 800, 3800. Okay. So 0 means I can save up to 3800 entries. But if my table can, if you feel like your table could have a more number of entries, then choose appropriately. This information again, you will have to get it from your functional team. Your functional team will get it from the user. Don't reach out to user directly. You will never reach out to user directly. Your functional team will understand it. Okay, from the user, as in how many entries a user might save in this table. Okay, if user is also not aware, if the simply user is telling that I could have 1000 entries, 2000 entries, 3000 entries as the time goes. If they are not sure, then simply make it one or two, because 61,000 entries is a lot. So people normally don't make more than that manually. Okay, that's why. But if you choose a transaction table which you feel like will be updated every single day automatically with a business transaction, choose a higher number. Choose a very higher number. At least three or four. At least three or four. You can go up to eight, your wish. No restriction. Depending on the business requirement, you have to choose this. Okay, your functional team will tell you, don't worry. Just ask this question to them. They will tell you how many entries do you think will be saved in this table. Ask them. Okay. For now, I'll choose 0 because I'll not maintain more than 3000. Definitely not. Okay. So 0. Done. Then buffering for now, ignore it. Buffering is a separate concept. I'll tell you later. Then this log changes means, okay, this also leave it because I did not tell you about system maintenance. Done. These are all the mandatory ones that you have to fill. Data class and size category. Okay. Then if you observe, there is a tab here, a tab which says DB specific properties. DB means database. Database specific properties. Okay, remember that this tab is only available in HANA system. Okay, currently I'm in which system? HANA database, HDB, correct? Here it's not visible. Okay, one second. System status, if I go, HDB, no? HANA database. I'm currently in HANA database. So that is the reason I am seeing this tab. If it is a ECC system, you will not see this tab. If it is ECC, you will not see this tab. The purpose of this tab is simple. Okay, I'll not require it. One second. I'll put a comment here. Not required for now. Okay, done. Then DB specific properties. Here you see what does it say? Column store, row store, undefined. Column store, row store, undefined. Same thing we have discussed, right? When we discussed about the differences between ECC versus HANA. Here, when we discussed about ECC versus HANA, this is what we have discussed. By default, every table is a row store. By default, it is column store, but we can change it to row store in HANA system. Correct? So this is HANA system. By default, what did it take? Column store. Column store. But if I want to change it, I can change it. My wish. I can change it. Okay. So when to choose column, when to choose row. Okay. Pay attention, please. So column store is beneficial in situations when more data extraction is happening on your table. Okay. Means if your table is used more often to extract the data, to pull the data, in that case, column store is beneficial. If your table is not used much with for data extraction purpose, but for data write purpose. Database write or database extract, two operations. Database write means adding the data, changing the data, deleting the data, whatever, making changes to the data. Okay, that is called database write. Then database display or extract. Okay, so in a case where there is more database write than extraction, choose column store. Choose row store. If extraction is more, data extraction is more, column store. If data write is more, row store. Simple. If data extraction is more, row store. If data write is more, row store. Simple. Very simple. Again, this information will be given to you by your functional team. They'll get it from the user. Okay, because user they know their requirement now. If I'm coming to you with a requirement, I'll have the clarity whether I will use this table every day to extract the data, or else every day will I store any data in it, will I update any data every single day into it. I know that information as a business user. I know that information. So the business user will give that information to your functional consultant. The functional consultant will give you that. Okay, so for now I'll choose column store. I'll choose column store. So save. Okay, so it is asking for a transport request again. Save it. Okay, done. See, now it is giving me the pop-up of activation. First it took me to technical settings, then it is giving me the activation pop-up. I'll hit OK. Done. My table is activated. Okay, no error. Without any error, I activated my table. But I'm pretty sure when you start practicing, you'll definitely get errors. So document those errors. If you are getting those errors, okay, we didn't form the batch yet because the registrations are not complete. I know few of you are registered already, but to the people who haven't completed the registration, please do it quickly so that once your registration is complete, you will be getting your server access also. Okay, immediately you will get the server access within a day or two, because we will need to create your user IDs on top of the system. Okay, see the reason for giving separate user ID for everyone is, see you can also use same, user ID, but see problem is, if you use same user ID, two people cannot log into SAP at the same time. Okay, that is one uh, limitation. Second limitation is in real time, how will you use user ID? Every single person will have a separate user ID in real time project, correct? So if you get habituated now itself with a different user ID in your project also, you will start using your own user ID, correct? So that's the reason we give a unique user ID to every each and every consultant here, every person, every student here. Okay. So once you complete the registration, then the server team will log some details to the into SAP server. They'll generate your SAP IDs. They'll share it to your mail ID or your WhatsApp, however they want to share. They'll share it. Okay. So to the people who haven't completed the registration, please do complete it, because only then you will get your server details. Once you get the server details, you can start practicing, because see, from yesterday's or previous class itself, we have started creating things in SAP, right? Creating package. Now I created a table. For creating the table, I created a data element. For creating the data element, I created a domain. Like that, I created multiple objects today. Data element, domain, table. Okay. So as we progress in the class, if we don't practice sessions immediately, you might feel left out. Okay. You will have to cover your backlogs also, and also current topic. Tomorrow if I tell you a new topic, then again you'll have to cover today's topic and tomorrow's topic tomorrow only. You have to practice now. If you don't practice it, you can't remember things, correct? So that's why. So please practice it. Once your registration is completed, you will get your server details. Once you start practicing, I am 100% sure you will get errors. No doubt in that. Okay, every person when they start creating things, they'll definitely get errors. Even I got error when I initially learned SAP. So once you get the error, then how to tackle the error is very important. Okay. So if you understand the error, you can directly do it off. Example, let's see. Let me get an error manually. Okay, what I'll do some change. I'll just save it. Okay, let me do a change. I'll save it. Okay, I'll remove R. What is the current state of my data element? Inactive. Correct? Inactive. I'll go back. I'll try to activate it now. I'm trying to activate my table. Okay. It says active object generated now, but inside this is it active? Not active. Inactive. So although it's activated here, it's still inactive inside my data element. So if I try to reuse my data, this table somewhere, then I'll definitely get error. I'll definitely get error. So similarly, see what happens if I try to change the domain. Save. It's in inactive state. Activate this. It says activated, but still it's not correct. It's not correct. Okay. The prerequisite is you have to make sure to keep your prerequisite objects active. Active. I'm using this domain inside my data element. So the domain has to be active well before. So similarly, I'm using my data element inside my table. So the data element should be active like that. Okay. Basically like that, you'll have to judge and do it. Okay. Don't worry if you're getting error also. Just simply post it in the WhatsApp group that will be created for the registered people. So if you just put your query in that chat, we will be monitoring that chat. You will also have your colleagues, like the people who are learning, right? Other registered students are there already in it. So they can also revert to you, or the benefit of you adding it in the group is you got the error, we will give you a solution. So the if any other person is getting the same error, they will have the solution ready already in the group. They have to just go through the query in the group and they'll have to apply the fix on their own. Simple. Okay. So that's why first step is completing your registration. So take some time and please do complete it. Okay. So any doubt from today's class, anyone on any topic, any of current topic or any of the previous topics that we have discussed till now, if you're having any doubt, you can feel free to ask. Okay. I'll take it as no doubts. So we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay. Bye everyone.